Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Knit About It podcast. I'm Drew.
And I'm Cassie.
It's good to see you guys. We're doing a rare, we've only done 5 podcasts, so who knows? We'll have to see if it actually is rare when we have more data to collect. Said like a true data person. But a
Charts,
rare
graphs.
Excel, the whole thing. A rare evening podcast. So I apologize if I'm a little dark. It is like 8:10 p.m. here on the East Coast, and
Keeping you up late.
Yeah, I mean, not late. But I do. I'm in bed by 10, pretty regularly. So sometimes 9. But it's okay.
Makes for a good morning the next day. Sacrifices.
It does. It does. I was telling somebody, this is like maybe a tired story, but I'll tell it anyway. Like, I was a night owl forever, and then I spent, my first job was as a teacher, and so when I had to be up every day at like, I don't know, I had to be at school by like 10 to 7. So that just like broke it out of me. That whole first year was so hard for so many reasons, but like the physical demand. And then I can't sleep past like 8 o'clock.
I used to be a barista and managed a coffee shop for a little while and did the morning shift. And it was 4:30 in the morning to get there, brew everything, get it ready for like opening.
And
Those
even being a morning person, like there is like a point at which it's like crazy even for me. Like when you're like before 5 o'clock, it's a little rough. I don't care who you are. Except for Dolly Parton. I read an article the other day where she like said she only goes on like 4 hours of sleep, and she's up at like 3 a.m. every day, like writing songs and saying her prayers. And I'm just like, good on you, Dolly. Like I am sound asleep.
Mm-hmm. Who else is like that? Like Mark Wahlberg. He gets up and like works out at like 4 o'clock every morning for like hours.
This is what like all of those business books tell you. They're like highly successful people only like need 5 hours of sleep and whatever.
That's just the recipe for me to not be successful.
Yeah, you don't want me to be like on 4 hours.
I'm not producing. Nope. So how you been?
Well, September was a little bit of a wild month, as we'll talk about in a moment. But pretty good. We'll talk about it in a second. But it's been up and down, but mostly good. I can't believe it's October 9th. Not even just October, or like into October.
How did we get here?
I don't know. And I don't know about you, Cassie. Like the weather on the East Coast has been really, like essentially what happened is like, it was like warm. And then it was like a switch flipped and like the temperatures dropped by like 15 degrees or 20 degrees in like what seemed like less than a week. So we just went like straight into fall with like no, like summer and September kind of a thing. Like we just didn't really have that this year. It's like already kind of cold, and we had some really bad weather earlier this week. Well, from the hurricane. So it's just like cold and windy. But anyway, I'm doing well. Long-winded answer to your question. Yes. How are you doing?
Glad to hear it. I'm doing pretty good. Day?
Tell us about your day, because you did some fun things today.
Oh, what did I do? Woke up, knit.
Typical.
lot of coffee, and went to brunch with my husband.
I love that part.
Yes, love it. It was so much fun. It was good to get out of the house, and we went to a really nice dinner last night too. So we're just indulging ourselves this weekend.
Yeah. You should talk a little bit about that, because that's something that's kind of, I think it's interesting. Like, you guys are always going out to cool places. Like, how did you guys get into that?
I think it's a little bit of where we live. We live in wine country. There's all these, like, Michelin star restaurants and fancy places and things popping up and chefs doing residencies here. And so it's just fun to find fun little things to do. Treat yourself a little bit. I mean, we don't have kids. We don't whatever. We live small so we can live big. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But It's just very good weekend all around. Got some knitting done,
Good.
even though my little paw hurts.
Oh.
But it's feeling better today. I've got I'm like lubing up with my CBD on my hands.
Yeah.
Like a maniac, just like...
You have to be so careful. Oh my gosh.
You gotta
Something
just
like that.
not test it.
I feel like everybody who has knit for a significant amount of time has had at least one period where they go through that, and it's like you have to. First of all, I don't know about you, but the first time it happened to me, I like freaked out. I was like, "Oh my god, I cannot lose knitting.
Knitting
like
career
this
was
is like
over.
cannot happen." And I just like I think the only thing to do is like you just have to take a couple days off and then like kind of step back into it. But some people push through it, and it's such a bad idea. Like it's not worth it.
Bad idea. You'll get far worse off. But like my whole forearm, my wrist, it's like right here, and my hand hurts. And then I was getting like a hand cramp back here, and I'm like, oh, I've gone too far. I've been trying to truck away at that green sweater, and that's what did it for me. The slightly more rustic yarn on a little bit bigger needles. I mean, they're only on a size 7, but just pushing that yarn like that, knitting at a denser gauge, kind of it exhausts your hands a little quicker.
Totally.
So
and I've had
went too far. I went too far, and I know it. So switched down to smaller needles and like a more relaxing project, and so got a little headway done on my fake granny shawl, whatever it's gonna be named shawl.
I love that one.
The Vapors.
The Vapors. I want that one to come live with me.
Nope. You're gonna have to make your own.
That is the one that I might have to steal. No, I wouldn't ever steal it, but I might want to wear it around a little bit, just for fun.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I'll try not to have any birds poop on me when I do. Little inside joke.
I got shit on. Very badly.
It was so funny.
It had to have been a crow from like a mile up. Like that thing hit me and it hurt.
It hurt? I didn't know that it hurt.
It hurt. I thought I was standing under. We were in Portland, and I was standing under like a light post street sign thing that has those little banner that's like festival coming these dates, whatever for the town. One of those. But in Portland, they've got art installations everywhere, and so this one had like little dangly metal things and like little sharp points, and I thought one of those fell and hit me. Like that's it. That bird hurt me. Oh. And then Drew like this.
Yeah, I have I have like a weak stomach, so it's just.
It was down the back of my shirt.
And of course, in typical fashion, our friend Amber, who's like, I don't want to say that she's like the mom of the group, but she kind of is, because we're a bunch of kids, and she's like the voice of reason, and she's always very like level and reasonable.
She makes me want to be a better person.
Yeah, that's what
Amber.
she is. She's like the best, salt of the earth, just like amazing.
I run into the yarn shop and get a paper towel covered in hand sanitizer, and she's like down my shirt, taking care of me, while Drew's like.
Oh, we have such fun adventures together. I can't wait. We're just so folks know. I mean, I think it's okay to share this, but like we get together once a year, sometimes more than that, but. We got together in Portland last year, and we're going to do it again in February. So we're just really, it's so much fun. And we're actually going to be there during the Rose City Yarn Crawl. So if you're in Portland and you're doing that, you will see us probably, because we're going to be.
Say hello.
We're going to be in your yarn stores.
What are you doing, squishing skeins? We're going to be in your yarn store.
grabbing all the skeins, running down the.
Elbowing people.
But yeah, well, cool. Do you want to talk about whips?
Sure.
And finished objects,
probably
and yarn purchases, and all that good stuff.
More than you in whips. Well, I don't have more whips than you. I have more whips that I'm willing to share than you. What do I have? Well, I started knitting. We're gonna go back. You might have forgotten about this. I started the Inclinations cowl.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like where it's going, and I don't think it's going to continue. I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to get a different color of yarn to go with the one, because this just, this screams like Michigan to me. It's yellow. It's blue. Do you want a cowl?
Go blue. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not big into
I
like
don't think
sports.
it's going to go with my coat the way that I wanted it to. I wanted something darker, moodier. But I was having a blast knitting this, and I really do like how the color progression kind of started to happen with the like little shifts, because I'm using the same color from 2 different lots. And so, like in the skein, they're very wildly different. Like,
yeah, they are
but
really
the
different.
second batch I got, very baby blue. Not for me. I thought that this would like dull it down. It's not working out. But now I know. So,
yeah.
Moving on. Moving on past that. Now I have no idea what I'm going to wear on my Europe trip, but I'll find something new. And then, what else am I working on? Oh, I pulled out my gloam. Ooh, I almost pulled out my gloam.
Careful.
We know how to fix it. Here's one of the fronts. So, started working on that again. And that's just in some very old stash yarn. We're not going to worry about what it is.
That shall remain nameless.
We're not going to worry about what it is. That's a very nice color and a nice yarn, and I'm happy to turn it into a sweater. But I need to start working on that a little more, because I really want to wear it, but I kind of like lost steam.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but
it happens.
I hit the stockinette portion, and I'm like, oh. And then I knew I had to cast on the next front, and I'm like, I don't know, I hit that. I've got the whole back done. It's almost done.
I have a lot to say about that, just in general, which is, I'll just like give you like a little brief, I'll probably talk more about this in a minute, but it doesn't have to be a linear trajectory with knitting. So like,
right.
If it just starts to fall out of favor, like, put it away.
It happens.
Come back to it, you know? I just had a friend today, actually, so everybody's doing the Stephen Westknit, which we'll talk about in a second, but he was like, I just don't know how I feel about this. And I'm like, this is a completely normal feeling to have. This is his first mystery knit along. And he's like, I think I'm going to rip it out. I'm like, well, why don't you just put it away for now and
marinate
come back to
on
it? Yeah, come back to it in a couple days. Because sometimes it's just like, you get frustrated or you're tired and it seems worse than it is. And then you come back to you're like, oh, I kind of like this, you know, and you want to keep going. So, or it just falls out of favor. Like, you're on a sweater knitting binge and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to knit something like a scarf or a hat.
Or hats. A lot of hats.
Guilty.
Happens. I'm still like in sweater mode.
Yeah,
I'm trucking on sweater mode. But then I have shawl mode too. I'm always in shawl mode.
Well, do you want to show us your other ones?
I can. You want me to just go straight through and show you everything?
Mm-hmm.
So while I was on vacation, I started a new shawl, and I am re-knitting an old shawl, the Bethel shawl, which is my pattern, in a different yarn from Royal Bee Yarn Company.
Oh, I love that.
It's her new DK Superwash. It's so round. It's got so many plies to it. It's like that really round yarn. And it's treated for superwash with salt, like a whole different technique.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
Where it's got really good bounce. It's got a little bit of drape, which sometimes superwashes can just have that like bounce without the drape. But there's something like that almost gives like a little bit of like a silky quality to it. And I really like it. So I started working on that because it was an easy plain project, hotel project, you know, pick up and knit a row and not worry where you're at because we're just doing a garter triangle for a while.
Yeah, yeah. I love that yarn.
I picked that yarn up on my way there.
Yeah. What was the name of that again, and who makes it?
It's from the Royal Bee Yarn Company in Pacifica, and I don't know what the yarn is called. It didn't have labels on it because she wound it for me because I was picking it up on the way to the airport. So she had it wound for me, ready to go. But I know that the color is called something like mallard green tea leaves. She always does like, like Wheel of Fortune, like the before and after.
Yeah.
Mallard green tea leaves.
Yeah,
and she
I
also
love that.
sells like spices and teas and stuff there, so it made sense. Mallard green tea leaves. Leaves. And while we're on the shawl kick,
don't
I got
even.
to the end of the row just for you, so I could show it off.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I
love it.
Love this one.
And my skein ended on a dark. So it ties into the top again. And I'm so happy that I didn't have to go further into more yarn because it's already huge.
Okay, tell us everything about the shawl. We need to know.
I'll tell you all the details.
The yarns, how it came to be. We need the whole story.
Okay. Well, I've talked about this in the past, but if you're new here, welcome.
Well,
Hi,
just give us the Cliff's Notes. It's okay for Cliff's Notes. But.
If you've been around, I'm going to tell you again. So the main color, the gray, I will hold it up again, is from North Bay Yarn Company, Jill Zielinski. And that is the elemental sport base in the color Coho. And then the contrast color is Spin Cycle Yarns Dyed in the Wool in Ghost Ranch, which is like
Ghost Ranch.
So moody and so good and shifts just right. I have nothing bad to say. I love it. And it's just a big, huge, squishy shawl. I'm excited to finish it. And I'm 9 rows officially from the end.
Oh, you're so close. You're going to finish this it's like days.
I wanted to finish this weekend, but, the hand.
Yeah, take it easy. But you're going to, your timing could not be more perfect too. You're going to finish it in a week. It's going to be fall. You can wear it. Oh.
It's going to be
so excited.
Black t-shirt, denim jacket, shawl.
That's the stuff, that's my jam. I'm into that.
So I guess I will announce this.
Okay.
I did not start out to write a pattern or to make this anything. I was just knitting to make myself happy. But Drew has pushed me enough on this one. Yeah. That I did write it, and I will release it as soon as it's done. Yay. So I will be looking for test knitters this week. And that's where I'm at with that. And then I have one more whip.
Yeah.
I have no finished objects.
Okay, that's all right.
But I didn't finish anything. I just worked on everything. So I am not going to pull this off the needles.
Be careful, please, please.
I'm not going to do anything bad. So I've been working on my big green V-neck raglan perfect V-neck sweater. It's all tangled up. And I got the V-neck on it.
It looks
and I'm
really
working on
good.
the body. So it's going to be so perfect. I'm so happy. And I don't know what's going to happen with this one yet. But we'll see. We'll see. We have to see if it works out. Get the perfect sleeves on it. And then I will determine what I'm going to do with it. I've never written a sweater pattern.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Tech editor swears up and down she will grade it for me. All right. We can do that. I mean, that's easy enough for me, right? Here's some money. Grade this for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do it. I do math all day long. All day long. And I don't know if I have it in me.
Well, and that also might be a good strategy if you decide to release it, because then you can have some people test knit it in some different yarns and different sizes and get some, different versions. I always think that's the coolest part. Like when a pattern comes out and there's only one project, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm still excited about it, but I like it when people do test knits because you get to see kind of a range of outcomes, Mm-hmm. I'm big into that.
And I always look at project pages.
Yeah.
When I'm going to knit something, I look and see what other yarns people made it in, what colors it looks good in that I didn't even think about. Look at their notes if they had any trouble or made any modifications. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a really good set of stuff you're working on. Like, do you realize?
I'm very happy with everything that I'm knitting on right now.
You've got some really good things. I mean, you always have good stuff that you make, but I just think you've got like a good range. The only thing that might be like
something for every occasion.
Yeah. The only thing that I was going to say that's like a little bit weird is, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I finish something I really like, I have kind of like a bluesy feeling after. I hope that doesn't happen after the shawl, because it's such a like
I don't
awesome
think so.
One. You'll get to wear it, so it'll be
yeah. And I have another shawl that's like right there, ready to pick up and knit, so that's helpful. And big plans for the future too.
Yeah.
But
of course, you're always
I've already thrown them out, so
yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Great. That's awesome.
So show me
yes.
what you got.
Yes. Okay. So let me start with the one that's going to be like the little bit of the story / drama from yesterday. Okay. So one whip that I have that's still in progress is the Normandale sweater. Oops, as it goes everywhere. So I've got my first sleeve.
So perfect.
And yeah, so I've got that part. And then, hold on one second. And then I'm working on the collar. So I have one part of the collar. It's a brioche shawl collar, knit separately. And then I've got the second half still on the needles. So here's what I want to say about this. I have many thoughts, but I'll try to like not bore everybody to death. I'm throwing in the towel on this for now. So like this was supposed to be my Rhinebeck sweater, and I just couldn't get it done for a few reasons.
Happens.
Yeah, for a few reasons. I think one is I got sick in September, which I'll talk about in this when we talk about our vacation stuff. But I had COVID for the first time, so that really knocked me on my ass. I'm still like not 100%. I mean, I'm feeling a lot better, but the fatigue is like a real thing. And then I just like I feel like I just ran out of interest, and that happens to me. Like I know that about myself as a knitter. Like I feel like and people who know me for a long time, like Cassie, like know that this is just how I kind of operate. It's like I'll go in on something full force, intense, couple weeks, maybe a month, then I'm like on to the next thing. This one I probably worked on for like maybe 6 weeks. So that's usually that's longer than normal, and I was taking classes and stuff. So I feel really good about the progress that I've made in the last few months, because I really have been trying to build my skills. Like with this one, I wanted to take on something that was going to be really challenging for me. Which it was. The knitting wasn't really that hard. It was the construction that was hard. And so that's where I'm trying to I want to build my skills, because I just don't feel like I really am very adept. And I've been knitting for a long time. So I want to kind of get some reps, practice that a little bit more. So I've been doing that. But anyway, the moral of the story, a few things. One is, I really beat myself up a lot about it yesterday. I felt really bad. I just felt disappointed in myself, and just, why can't I get this done? But I think it kind of started to turn into work. And I think for a lot of knitters, it's when it starts to turn into work, it just
takes
sucks all the fun out of it, So I just need to kind of let it rest. I'll return to it, because I always return to it. This is how I operate. I knit in spurts. I come back to it. So once the dust is settled and I don't have a deadline looming anymore, I think I'll feel more motivated to come back to it. So that's one whip that I have. The other one that I have is coming back from, again, cycling back in, is the hipster hat. And it's just a little 2x2 rib hat. And I got this yarn actually when we were all together in February in Portland at Ritual Dyes. This is their Morona DK. Yes, this is pre-poop.
Pre-poop. PP.
PP.
In the time of PP.
In the time of PP. This is Morona DK from Ritual Dyes. It is actually like so nice. It's very, very soft, and it's got like a very kind of rustic feel to it. I'm into it. I really like the yarn a lot. This is like my first time working with it. I also wanted to show, this is like not a whip, but I got this cool new little gadget.
You didn't tell me you actually bought it.
I bought it. So
you bought it.
I bought it and it came because I wanted it for Rhinebeck. But like, this is so cool, guys. I've seen these around. This is called a cocoon, and it has like a little hand strap right here, which you can't really see. But I got the one that has like the body strap, so I can like wear it like this, you know, or crossbody. So I can take it to Rhinebeck. So, and just other on-the-go knitting. Like I'm getting big into hats lately, so I think this would be very perfect for hats. And it has this cool little snap on the top, and then that's how you like open up and get your yarn in and out. So I like it. Sidebar, one other like cocoon related thing. This is gonna make me sound like a monster, but I feel like it's worth telling people. The exchange rate right now is so good for the US dollar. So I bought this from Bad Anna's, which is in Vancouver, BC, and I got a great deal on it. So for all of your knitting related stuff, it's also true for the euro right now. So if you're thinking about ordering yarn from like Stephen and Penelope or like somewhere in Canada, it's a good time to do it right now because you're going to end up like, I did a little math. That's all I'm going to say. And I was thinking about getting it from somewhere that was based in the US and the store in Canada. And even with the shipping, it was still a way better deal. So consider it.
Good note.
Just saying. I'm not like I'm not like a big capitalist, but I am about people saving money when they can. So
save a buck, buy more yarn.
Yes. This is like, isn't this the goal?
Yeah.
So I actually have a finished object to share, which is really exciting. My ends are not woven in, so I'm holding it delicately, like as if, you know, I'm going to be...
I won't tell anybody.
Outed. I just outed myself.
Tell.
It's just a little beanie.
I love it. It's so simple, and those are sometimes the best knits.
And I really like it's hard to see because I'm dark and the yarn is dark, but the decreases are really cool on this.
Yeah, it looks very uniform, very tidy.
Yeah. This pattern is from my new friend, actually, because she's local, and we're friends now, which is kind of cool. Olga Jazzy. And those of you who know Olga Jazzy, I would say she's somebody that I haven't knit a lot of her stuff, but she's somebody that I've admired for a long time in terms of a designer, because she really has a truly kind of distinct way of designing. She does a lot of what she calls like 3D knitting, but it's like knitting that has like a lot of texture and geometry to it. I just really like it. So anyway, this pattern is called Roku, and it's truly like the absolute best like 1x1 ribbed beanie I've ever made. I really like it a lot. And the other thing I was going to say about this project, well, two things. One is I knit this recently, so this is part of the reason why my sweater's not finished, but I don't even care because I just really wanted to make a hat, so I just went ahead and made a hat because I'm an adult. I could just decide what I want to do.
It's a palate cleanser, really.
It was so fun. I actually have like a few more things to say. So
tell me more.
I'm going to tell you. The second
yarn, needles, tell me the whole thing.
Yes. Well, the yarn was the next thing I wanted to say, which is this was yarn I had in stash for like, I want to say 10 years. Like, I don't even think it's like an exaggeration. Like, I just had a skein of like Tosh Vintage just chilling. And when I went to pick yarn for this pattern, I was like, this is going to be perfect. And then it ended up being like a heavy skein as well. So it like worked out awesome. So that's my plug, is if you want to do a ribbed beanie for fall or winter, this is a great pattern, and just go stash diving, and it's easy. You don't have to think. Only hard part is you do like a tubular cast on in the beginning, which is like invest like an hour to get it set up. Maybe if it takes me.
But do you have to? No.
You don't have to. No, I will say
I wouldn't.
I mean I'm real. I do really. I can be kind of like cranky about that kind of thing, but I really do like the edge. Like it turned out really good. She had you do it like one needle size smaller for the cast on in the first two like rows of the tubular, and then one size up. And I think that that's what did it, because I've always had it like kind of flare a little bit. Anyway, really excited about that. What else was I gonna say? Oh, well, the final thing, which maybe be like a transition into like future projects, is I just love making hats. And I've just rediscovered this. This was like actually like when I first started knitting, outside of like the standard like garter stitch scarf, but is really just like a big long piece. Like everybody does this, is like a rite of passage kind of, or most people do. The second thing I made was a hat. I took a hat class, and then I made like hats, like tons of them, like the first like 2 or 3 years I was knitting. And I haven't made one in so long. And I just came to me. I was like, I want to get back to this because it's fun, and there's so many out there that you can make. They take one skein. It's easy. It goes fast. You feel like accomplished. It doesn't feel like you've got to do like a bunch of it's not fussy. So I'm gonna do more of that in my own knitting. I got some yarn today to make some hats. So should I show that?
Tell me more.
Okay.
I haven't even seen it.
Okay. Well,
I got a picture of one skein of yarn today, and then I heard that there was more.
You're gonna laugh. So I have a few different kinds. Most of it is Gilliatt because like everybody knows, I'm obsessed with Gilliatt. That's just a fact.
It's a low budget wonder.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Amazing. I love it.
So I'll just show the colors, and then I'll mention the patterns at the end. I'm not sure like quite yet like which color is going to go with which, except for maybe one. So I got this really bright and flashy green. I just really like it. I know it's like a little wild, but I think it's going to be cool. So I got that one. I got the same color as my giant orange shawl, which I'll be wearing at Rhinebeck.
Oh, I love that color.
Me too. This color is called like Pote Marron or something. I don't know. They're all French. I took German, so.
I love that it's a heathered yarn, but it's also like an aggressive orange at the same time, and it like plays in that realm between. I mean, it's punchy.
It's so good.
I love it.
It's such like this is like the quintessential like pumpkin fall orange. Like this is the one to get. Like, yeah, I might have to show my shawl in a second to just.
Please
share,
do. I'm so excited that you're actually gonna like wear it somewhere.
I'm gonna wear like all of like the silver lining to not finishing the sweater is like I'm going all in on accessories. So it's gonna be like shawls, hats. Like I'm going for it.
It's big shawl fall.
Big shawl fall. I like it. Door, which is like
the best.
The color. I mean, I'm like mustard on mustard on mustard. Like I've got like it's a problem.
I love that we're both like fall themed today.
I'm into it.
We're feeling it. We're feeling it.
So I had that one, and then oops, the tag fell off. Hold on. Okay. So then I'm gonna do like a 2-color hat, one with a solid like that uses a solid and a multi. So I got these two. So this is like a kind of a crispy skein of close call. My lighting is so bad, guys, but I think you can kind of get the sense of it. And then this is like a really dark oatmeal. I have a lighter oatmeal in my stash too, so I'm kind of in between this one and the lighter one, but I think that this is going to be like kind of broody and dark. So I kind of like that, and still have the contrast. It too. So yeah, that's my little haul. I had some store credit too, so I should say that like that was part of the reason I had credit. So I mean, it wouldn't have stopped me necessarily anyway. But
I've had so much store credit lately. Whew.
It's not a euphemism. I actually had store credit, but not to cover the full bill. Because
I'm going to be honest. The only yarn I've bought is that the 3 skeins I got for my new Bethel shawl from Royal Bee, and then I bought 5 skeins of yarn for something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the mystery. It's a mystery.
The mystery. Oh, mystery.
Mystery. Do you want to talk about the mystery, or what else you got?
Yeah. No, I think that's all I've got. The only last thing I'll say about the hats is I'll just mention a few names just in case people are curious, because there's a few that I'm really excited to make. So I'm going to make another one of these for sure. So
I might need to make one of those too.
This is like, let me just talk, like, I know I bragged on it a little bit, but here's my advice. Get yourself a skein of Tosh Vintage or equivalent, like superwash or whatever you like to knit with. You could even do it with the Gilliatt. I think that this pattern lends itself well, though, to like a squishier, denser yarn. So I think like a superwash is a good one to go with, and it's ribbed like 1 by 1, so you can, like, I blocked it and it didn't like it. Nothing bad happened. It did get it relaxed like a little bit, but like actually kind of like the perfect amount. But I'm trying to toggle off my coats, so I have like, just kind of like you were saying for your trip to Europe, like. I have 2 coats that I wear in the winter. One is like a buffalo plaid coat, so it has like black and red, and then the other one is like kind of greens and golds and stuff. So I kind of knit this one to go with the buffalo plaid, though it can really go with either. And then I'm gonna do like, I'm knitting on the gold one because that'll go with my. So I guess I'm just trying to say, like, use your coat as a way to help you with the colors, because I think for me sometimes I'll knit something in like a really wild color, and then I go to wear it and I'm like, I'm not gonna wear like a bright teal hat with like a red coat. Like, this just looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, more than you wanted to know. My 2 cents.
I love it.
So
I'm into just the whole technique of the 1 by 1 and the yarn, and I think it lends itself really well. Like a 1 by 1 ribbed pattern lends itself really well to like a hand dyed yarn. It breaks it up. It just gives it a little extra something, a little zhuzh.
And I gotta say, like, I'm gonna go on and on about this, but the Tosh Vintage, I feel like that yarn was a yarn that was popular like 10 years ago. Like Malabrigo worsted, that's another one. Like the actual like single ply, really soft Malabrigo, and like all of these other yarns have kind of come and like taken up space, which is fine. It's cool when new stuff comes out, but I just, like, another reason why I really like this hat is it just reminded me of how much I liked that yarn. And now that I'm like out of the cult and doing things with like other yarns, I'm starting to return. Like I'm just really getting a lot of joy knitting with all these different things, because it's like you get to use all the crayons in the crayon box, you know. So
I'm so glad to be out of the cult.
Yeah,
there's a podcast out there, I think it's probably a cult, or it might be a cult.
Yeah,
great listen. And they look at like things like Lululemon and like LuLaRoe, like all of these things, and all the multi-level marketing whatevers, and it might be a cult. It's probably a cult. I can't remember what it's called, but look it up. Oh, it sounds like a cult. I think that's what it is. Sounds like a cult. I'm okay with some, but not.
Listen, I was a willing participant in the cult. I'm admitting that. Came to my senses, and don't regret it. But all I'm saying, I said this last time, but you owe it to yourself to try some different yarns. It's fun. Like, just take a shot at hats. Again, hats are a great way to do it. Buy a skein for a hat pattern, knit a hat, try it out. In fact, I didn't mention this.
It's a great way to try new yarns.
One of those skeins of Gilliatt, I'm knitting a hat that is like basically the companion to this like epic cable sweater that I think might be like my big 2023 project. So I'm knitting the hat so I can do like a swatch.
Perfect.
For the sweater. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hats are swatches too.
There's swatches too. And a lot more fun. It's better than knitting like a boring old plain swatch that you're not going to do anything with except for maybe like use it as a coaster.
Nah, They're in a pile somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, my watch is like, you should stand. We're good. Okay. I'm like, who's bothering me? It's so not you. So, you want to talk about the mystery knit-along?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
So we both signed on to do the Westknits mystery knit-along this year. And I... Mostly just for, like, the camaraderie and friendship and meeting new people. And, like, I don't give two craps about the shawl, really. I know it's not going to be something that, like, I'm reaching for to wear a lot. But it's wearable art. And knitting it is the fun part, I guess. Picking the yarn and knitting it is the fun part. So I was totally on board. Got my yarn. Came a day late. I ordered late. I panicked. Couldn't find the right yarn. Couldn't find the right color. Went back and forth 20 times. And then I ordered yarn from where I knew it would come really, really fast, and it didn't. Everybody's in Rhinebeck prep right now. So
yeah.
Anyway, but, knit along started Thursday. I got it Friday. And in that meantime, I decided to pick this back up. And fell deeply in love with it again. And as quickly as I was into the mystery knit along, I talked myself right back out of it. Because I was like, I'm really enjoying these other things I'm knitting, and I don't want to lose steam on them. And I didn't want the obligation knitting to try to keep up with the... I already feel behind. I already know I can't get Clue 1 done by the time Clue 2 comes out. And then I just feel like I'm, like, trying to play catch-up the whole time. But I'll show you my yarn I got.
Yeah, let's see.
And I already have a backup plan for it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I got...
Ooh.
This from... La Mercerie, and it's ampersand fibers in the Caslin fingering, and it's lovely yarn. I have never tried it before. It's a little rustic. It reminds me a little bit of the what do you say, Gilliatt?
Gilliatt.
My crass Gilliatt.
Don't. Yeah.
But it's almost a little softer, but it's got like the good heathered quality, and that was my thing that was holding me up, was I really wanted a heathered gray to go with a dark heathered green. And I would find this, but not this, and this, but not this, and I wanted them all to be the same yarn. So I panicked, and now I have this yarn.
You'll figure out something cool to do with it.
I'm not going to knit the mystery shawl.
Listen,
whatever.
You're not alone. I'm in the same boat, and in fact, a few things. One is, I ordered a kit. I was really excited about it. The kit was very fall. I'm not going to show you mainly because I'm just like a little lazy, but it was basically like gray with speckles, a cream with like rust, like both of these, like gray with like rust speckles, cream with rust speckles, and then the accent color was like rust. So I was like, very similar to you, I think. Like, my yarn came, but I had like all these other things going on, like Sweatergate. I'm knitting all these hats now. I'm going to Rhinebeck next week. And I also saw like a spoiler of somebody who knit with my colors, and I was like, ooh. Like, I like the colors.
It's a little low volume.
It's too, like, muddled. So that kind of, it just turned me off. And I don't really have other yarn that I, like, want to use. And if I were to knit that shawl based upon what I've seen, which is only just the first clue, I would go, like, big, high contrast, solid. Like, no speckles. I will say I do really like the first clue. I think it's, like, it is very, really neat. Like, this is very, very cool.
Totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to live in that man's head for just a day.
Yeah.
I've got to know what's going on in there. Like, how do you come up with this? I know it's just like he's using stitches as art, and I'm looking at, when I'm trying to design something, I'm looking at like what the finished thing is going to be and how wearable it is. Wearability is important to me. He's all like, fuck it, I don't care.
He's such a...
And I love that. I love it. Like,
he's such a free spirit. Like he did like a little. He's been doing more YouTube, and he did some leading up to
Mm-hmm.
this, and he said that like he doesn't even know what it's gonna be when he's making it. Like he just
Mm-hmm.
goes into it and he starts, and then hits a point, and then makes a decision to like zig, and then to zag, and then to zig. Like he doesn't
It's
really.
like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and that is also remarkable because that, like, to me, that's just not how my brain works. Like my brain is like, let me
Mm-hmm.
map it out and then let me try it. Like that's how I
Mm-hmm.
operate. So I think it's
Same.
I was this is like a tangent, but I was thinking the other day, like, we're really blessed. Like, I think we take for granted, like, we're so blessed in our community of knitters and crocheters and fiber artists to have all these people who have that talent of designing. Because, like, for me, I just don't have that creativity in my mind. I mean, I guess if I, like, somebody was like, design a shawl right now, like, I could probably do it. But I'm just, I just makes me grateful. I'm just like, wow, we have some people in our community who are just, like, really brilliant, and there's just like we're just like so much to make. You could never make everything in like a lifetime. I mean, there's just so much choice and
Right.
options, and it's so cool. So anyway,
Every time I see something, I'm like, oh my god, I have to knit that. And then by the time I get the yarn for it, something else is out. And it's like, you almost feel like you're always behind.
do you feel like it's more like that in the fall? Like I was talking to Mike about this the other day. I feel like 6 patterns a day are coming out right now, and I'm like, I can't even keep
And
up.
they're all from the big designers that everybody wants to knit. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like collections, like fashion seasons or something. Like now it's
Yeah.
fall and it's time to do all your winter knits, and you know.
Yeah, like I feel like Andrea Mowry just came out with like two or three like she just came out with a new sweater this week, and then there's the Rhinebeck sweater, and then there's been something in between there. I can't remember what it was.
That big cardigan, and then she did the partnership with Ritual Dyes.
That's right. She's a busy lady.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Same thing with Steven. He's like doing this run up for the mystery knit along, and he's like, oh, by the way, there's this basket weaver shawl like releasing.
Just random.
It's a lot.
Throwing it out there. I just don't
Awesome.
know. But I mean, I am so impressed by his creativity,
Yeah.
and
Here's
yeah, it's art.
here's the other thing. Public service announcement. Don't yuck other people's yum when it comes to the mystery knit along. Please.
Or in general.
Or in general, or in life. But like,
Yeah.
I saw a kind of, I don't know. I get bent out of shape sometimes with like little things, which I guess that's neither here nor there. Maybe it's a good quality, maybe it's a bad. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But
We all do.
I saw this meme, and it was like a fortune cookie opening up, and it was like, you're never gonna wear that damn mystery shawl or something like that. And I was just like,
I saw it too.
I was like, that's a bummer. Everybody's
That's
excited for
unfortunate.
it. Like, it's been going on for 13 years. Even if you don't end up knitting it, like, it's still fun. You can get excited about
Mm-hmm.
it. You can kind of wait and see and then knit it in the future. You feel like you could really feel the knitting community kind of coming together around it. I don't know. It's kind of like Christmas in some weird sense. I don't know. That's maybe going a
Yeah.
little too far, but like, it's an exciting annual thing that people look forward to, and a lot of people like it, even if it's not your taste. Like, a lot of people like it. So
And I honestly, outside of the wearability, first off, I saw that meme, and the first time I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, shots fired!" Like, there's no need to bring up any comment about it. Like, people are going to enjoy it. People are not going to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't participate. Easy as that. But there's so many people, regardless of wearability, that knitting it is the fun.
yeah,
Like, you're learning so many new techniques, and it just makes you a better knitter. You've got your community there. People talk, like the Ravelry chat room is like always on
poppin'.
fire for the
Yeah,
mystery shawl. Like, I love scrolling through there and just seeing everybody's progress and how it looks in all the different colors, regardless. Every year, even though I'm not participating, because I'm like, usually it's just not for me. I like an easy knit that engages my mind just enough to like memorize it, not have to look at a pattern constantly. And these are the kind of patterns that, like, I was looking forward to actually, like, knitting it and taking the time and sitting and, like, okay, I have to read this pattern now.
Right.
But
yeah.
But then I was like,
listen.
Maybe this isn't the moment for me.
Here's the other thing, and I know I can say this to you because, like, we're on the same level. But I think sometimes I have to remind myself that, like, a significant portion of people who knit, maybe not significant, but a lot, are retired, and many of them actually don't work. So sometimes I like have to remember, like, Drew, like, you cannot do 16 sweaters and a mystery knit along and 17 other things and your day job, and, you know, like, for those of us who,
it's okay.
Like, for those of us who work, like, it's hard to do a mystery knit along where you've got to finish an entire, like, 2,000-yard shawl in a month. Like, that's just a lot. It's a lot of knitting.
And I'm going to come out and say, I think that first glue is pretty large.
It's large.
It's a lot of knitting.
Yeah.
And, like, well, it's, you get rhythmic with it. It's still a lot of knitting.
Yeah, and it's not easy.
It's not just go with the flow knitting.
Yeah, no, there's not breaks.
You're not going to memorize this exactly. I mean, you might be able to after about 4 or 5 repeats, but there's like 20-some repeats to it.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Oy.
It's supposed to be fun.
I'm totally digging it. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling where it goes next.
Yeah.
I think we're going the other way.
Probably.
That's going to be my thought.
Yeah.
The other way.
It's probably the other way, and then maybe...
Like from the center out. That's my guess.
Yeah.
But I so badly want to hang tassels from a part of it.
This is surprising.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I'm with you.
Like, oh, okay, we're gonna do something here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's got to be finished off somehow. So I'm like, how is he gonna do it? Can't wait to see. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I saw that meme too, and it was just kind of like, it felt icky.
Well,
it felt icky.
The worst part about it is it came from another designer / teacher. So
it just was so random.
And
nothing needed to be said.
It's just, come on, let's support one another. Like, we can all win. We can all be successful.
There's room in this arena for everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, off the soapbox.
Yeah.
I'm off my soapbox.
Should we do? We're at an hour, so I don't know. Or, well, I guess we had our beginning time, so that's fine.
It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
Okay, so let's do vacations and then questions.
Well, we've got to talk about Rhinebeck, too.
Oh, Rhinebeck. Okay. Which one?
Okay, I went on a trip to Hawaii. It was wonderful. It was great. Had trouble getting there. Almost missed our flight. Islands and waterfalls and rainbows and house rental and pool and chickens and geckos and then we came home. Hawaii vacation done.
Okay, I'm gonna do something.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna do something similar with a little bit more. So we went to the Pacific Northwest, to the Olympic Peninsula, and this is, you guys like will laugh, but then you're also gonna think I'm probably a little dumb. So we got there and there was like smoke. There was all this smoke and like air pollution and stuff. And so like we actually saw like, I don't know how to describe it, like a huge, like we saw like flying into Seattle, we saw all the smoke like up in the atmosphere. It was unbelievable. So we land and we got there on Saturday. On Sunday, my throat was sore. And I thought, well, it's probably because of the air quality. And then Monday, my throat was even sorer. And I was like, oh, it must be the air quality. And then Tuesday, I felt really bad. Like, I just started to kind of progressively feel worse throughout the day. And I was like, oh, I know what this, I think I know what this is. And so I got COVID on vacation. Sucked. Really sucked. I mean, it was like, the situation was very positive because we were in an Airbnb and it was beautiful and we had a view of the water. So from that perspective, like I had a nice place to be sick, and my partner had COVID at the beginning of August. So he was still riding his wave of like super immunity. So he was not at risk for getting sick. But buzzkill, because like didn't really get didn't get a vacation really. It was beautiful what we did see. We did 2 big hikes that were awesome. We did Rialto Beach, went to the tide pools, saw starfish and sea anemones. So cool. And then we went to Hurricane Ridge, which also was like epic. I was a little scared, honestly, at Hurricane Ridge because the path was like this narrow, and then it was like steep drop off, like death. And I was like,
I'm good.
But it was still fun. It was really beautiful. So we hope to go back next year. We watched a lot of Alone.
Do-over.
We got into Alone, which I was like behind on. 10 seasons. I think I'm like, what's this show? Like,
it's fantastic.
We watched the season where they're at Chilco Lake. It was good. We liked it a lot. Anyway, vacations. That's it.
Vacations. COVID. Ruiner.
Freaking COVID.
Oh, man. At least you had a good view. I had the downtown Canada in Vancouver hotel watching the rooftop, waiting for the dogs.
Yeah.
There were very little dogs. Very small amount. They didn't come very often.
Oh.
So much takeout.
That I had so much like I think I gained a significant amount of weight because I was eating a bunch of crap, not exercising, and now I'm getting back into the exercise, and it's like my body's like, dude, you're out of shape.
Yeah. Ease into it. It's hard to get back.
Yeah, and my
it took me a long time to get back.
It's just like not good. But
yeah, I think I'm almost like all the way better.
Yeah.
And I was plagued by migraines this week, which was
no fun.
Stupid. So stupid. I don't. I'm glad I'm over it.
Good.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Rhinebeck. Let's talk about it. Tell me everything. I want to know your plans. I want to know what you're going to be shopping for, who you're excited to see, what you're wearing.
Oh.
I want it all.
I've been thinking about some of those more than others, but I'll do my best. So,
hit what you want.
So this will be my 3rd time going. I love this festival. I highly recommend it. I think it's one of the ones that truly deserves the hype. Now, what I will say is, I don't want to offend anybody, but it is a little bit of like a C and B scene event. You know, like there are like all of the famous, like the knitting famous people around, and a lot of fangirling, and it was just great. Like, you know, it's fun to see people. I even do that. There are a lot of people that I look forward to seeing, and that's like my only opportunity to really see them. The region is beautiful. It's just great. Like if I would recommend, if you want to do it, like get there on Thursday, leave on Monday. That way you've got Thursday and Friday to do in-town stuff. Saturday and Sunday you can do the festival. Monday you can recover and go home. So that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on Thursday. I'm going to come back on Monday. I'm staying in Saugerties, which is close to Rhinebeck. It's one of the little towns up there. And yeah, so Thursday's going to be my chill day. Get in, get settled. Maybe have dinner with a friend if I'm feeling up to it, but maybe also having solo time because I'm a shy introvert who will be doing a lot of socializing in the next few days. Friday, I'm going to go to the Wool and Folk Festival. There are a whole bunch of different, it's like pre-show or like different like little smaller events because Rhinebeck is so exclusive, it's hard to get in, you know. So and as it's grown in popularity, I think there's just been more and more events. There's like Wool and Folk won't be the only one I do actually, so that's one I'm going to go to. There's India Untangled. There's Cakeapalooza. I don't know as much about that one. It does involve cake. It's like yarn cake, I think. Maybe there'll be cake. I don't know. I should find out. And then
they should have cake.
There's this other one that I might do too, which is like a roller disco on Friday evening, where you can get roller. It's like knitters and crocheters, and they like have a roller rink, and you can get skates, and I don't know.
Don't hurt yourself.
I know I probably won't because I don't want to.
Don't fall.
I don't want to fall again.
Don't fall.
Don't fall. Tip.
Don't fall.
Word to the wise: do not.
That's Drew's
fall.
number one advice: do not fall.
Falling as an adult is not the same as falling when you're like 7 or 8. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Nope.
So about the festival, I'm really excited. Gosh, I haven't really gotten into the vendors. You know, like in my knitting career, I've kind of taken 2 strategies. Like one strategy is like plan everything out and then like hit all of your spots. The second strategy is like just kind of take it in and see stuff. And that's kind of like what I'm doing for this. I do like to, well, a couple things. For Woolen Folk, I'm excited because Ritual Dyes is going to be there. So I really like her stuff. And then Madeline Tosh is going to be there. So this is really interesting because Madeline Tosh was like a big dyer for a number of years. They got sold and like things are different now. And so now they're just like vending again. So I think that'll be interesting to see like what they have. And there's many more. I'm forgetting a bunch of them, I'm sure.
Earl Grey Fibers is going to be there. That's one I know.
Yeah.
Heather. She's great.
They're doing...
I'm losing light. I'm going to be like blinded in a minute.
Uh-oh. We have to wrap it up.
It's fine. Oh, no, it's fine.
What else was I going to say? Oh, like... And then there are some others that I really like at the actual show. Like, I always like to see Jenny the Potter. I'm just, like, a big fan of her stuff. I think it's cool. Miss Babs, I don't really, like, always buy from her, but I just like to see what she has. And then a lot of the, like, I like a lot of the tchotchkes, too. So, like, sometimes I don't, like, just want to focus on yarn. Like, I like kind of stitch markers and mugs and gear, I don't know, like fiber accoutrements. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'll come back with. I am on a hat kick, so I feel like that's a positive in some ways because I'm going to be able to justify like 1 and 2 skeins of this and that, which is actually kind of fun. Like I think I got in this mode where I was like, I know I have been in this mode where everything was like a giant shawl or a giant sweater. So I'm kind of excited because I've got a whole bunch of hats in my queue. So that is one thing I'll probably do that I have not done yet, but I'll do it this week before I go. This is like something that just helps me out a lot is I just write like on my phone, I write like a list of pattern, what weight of yarn it calls for yardage, and I have that handy. So then that way when I'm shopping, I can kind of figure out like I could buy for stuff that I'm actually going to want to make. So I'll do that. But
that's a good way to go in.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing that I'm considering doing, but I have not firmed up yet, is the festivals on Saturday and Sunday. I find that I don't always need to go for the second day. So I'm thinking that I might take the train into the city on Sunday. And I might do a little bit of bougie candle shopping in the city.
Oh.
So that's like my secret, like, maybe plan. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling.
Maybe.
And then outfits, the last part.
Okay.
So I'm featuring shawls and accessories this year. And sweaters from 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I have like...
You don't want to be like everybody else with this new sweater business.
Okay. So
it's overrated.
Outfit number 1. It's going to be... I'm calling it like my pumpkin outfit. Okay? Halloween themed. Black from head to toe. Black t-shirt, black jean jacket, black jeans, black Converse high tops, and then my giant orange shawl wrapped around me.
I sign off on this, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to wear that on Friday if the weather is nice.
Perfect.
And then I'm going to wear my ice-dyed sweatshirt one day just because I feel like people there will appreciate that. So I'm going to wear that. I have an outfit with blues and charcoal grays, like this blue plaid shirt that I have with a charcoal gray t-shirt and some just regular jeans, and then I'll wear my Olima, which has got gray and blue in it, and that's a pattern that Cassie designed. Another giant, yeah, I'm really excited to wear it. And then my sweater. So the day of the festival, I'm going to wear my Guthrie sweater, which is totally an acceptable second, like, alternate option because it's an epic sweater. In fact, I'm gonna wash it tomorrow. So that's on my list to do tomorrow since I have tomorrow off. So yeah, those are that's the one thing I've been thinking about my outfits, which is so vain, but I also,
so is everybody else.
Yeah, I want to look cute, and I want to look all like fall, and you have to wear layers. Like the weather's going to be really actually perfect. It's going to be like 50 to 60 for the highs, like every day. So that'll be perfect.
As long as it's not one of those terrible hot years.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's not going to be like 85. Like last year it was hot. It sucked. I mean, it didn't suck, but it's just kind of like you can't really wear your knit stuff.
Wear your sweater, Yeah.
Or
you're going to be
uncomfortable because they put all that. They do, but
yeah. I mean, I'd still try to wear it if I put that much effort into it, to wear it just for that. Yeah.
But it's a fun,
especially if you busted booty to get it done in time.
It's a really fun show, though. I recommend it. And my only other tip is, well, two others. One is book way, way, way early. So, like, I've done it in the past where I just book, like, a house, even if I don't have, like, people committed yet, because the places go really fast. So that's one thing. You can book it as soon as, like, February or March, and you should, because you'll get the best places. And then the second thing is, like, you can do it solo or with a group. So I've done both, and there's something to be said for both. If you have a good small group, it's really fun to do with your friends. And if you want to go solo, that's also fun because you can just like crash everybody else's fun and then be alone when you want to be alone. So
you get to make your own rules, your own schedule, and you're not at the mercy of anybody else.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the one advisory I would give is like, I think a lot of people would say this, don't go with a big group. It's just really hard. Like, if it's more than, like, 4 or 5 people, you just run into all of the, like, so-and-so wants to do this, but so-and-so doesn't want, like, you got all that going on. Yeah.
No fun. I'll be going next year.
Yeah.
I got Sterling to commit.
Yes.
I was like, we need to book a house immediately.
Yes. As
soon as we know the dates and as soon as they're open.
Yes. And that's the fun part about going...
We're booking the group a house.
That's the fun part about going with the group is there are so many beautiful houses you can rent and just really cute cabins. And I'm staying like at a more in-town location this year, but last year I stayed at a cabin in Catskill and it was just amazing. Like beautiful view, hot tub, deck, like it was awesome. So
that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Sterling found us a castle.
Where?
He's like, you guys could rent this castle. I don't know.
Does it have Wi-Fi? As long as it has Wi-Fi.
Probably. It's got everything. It's a castle.
Well, I'll tell you one funny thing. So I think I told you this before, but I'll tell America this. So last year was like the first year that they had Rhinebeck because they didn't have it in 2020 because of COVID. And then last year, everybody was masked and stuff because it was just still at the height. And my little group that I went with, we were all kind of feeling like a little stressed and tired from like all of the peopling. So we spent a significant amount of the time like just hanging out at the cabin, knitting, listening to music, and then we watched like South Park and Strangers with Candy and Crank Yankers and just like hung out and ate pizza.
That's a perfect
It was
time.
awesome. It was awesome. So just do it, you got to make it your own. Do what you want. That's like the other thing about Rhinebeck is just like, come as you are. If you want to do everything, and you can do that. If you want to be like I was and be like a lazy slob and just go to the show and like eat pizza and hang out, you can do that too. So.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So that's it.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I think that covered all our bases.
Yeah.
You're going to Rhinebeck. We've bailed on the mystery shawl. We have whips. Yeah. You have an FO.
Should I ask you some questions? Because last time we asked questions. Or are we out of time?
Sure. No, let's have one each.
Okay. All right, one.
I'm going to make mine knitting related, though.
Okay.
If that helps you out at all.
All right, I'll make my knitting related too. Do you want me to go first, or do you want...
Okay. You go first.
Okay. This will be easy.
Okay, good. Okay.
What is your favorite yarn store that you have ever visited?
Oh my goodness.
In your entire life?
Favorite yarn store. My entire life. I've been to a lot of yarn stores. And I feel like I've visited so many of them in my head. Like... I might need a minute. What's yours?
I have a tie. I think it's okay to have ties. So you can have a tie too.
It's okay. It's okay.
So my two that I just absolutely love, Eat, Sleep, Knit, which has a physical location just outside of Atlanta. And I used to live in Nashville. I actually lived there twice. And we would sometimes go for the day, which was like a little crazy because it's like 4 hours each way. Only knitters would do this, of course, but we did. It was fun. So that one, because they have basically, if you're like into hand-dyed yarns, it's like a warehouse. It's insane. So it's really fun. And then my second one is Spun, which is in Ann Arbor. It's like my hometown shop, and they also just moved into a new space, and it's really like, if I were to like make a knitting store, I think that's probably the closest one. It's got like a lot of wood tones and a really nice curated selection of yarns, and I like it. So, and they're really nice. So
that's the most important thing, I think, because I've been to some really cool yarn shops, and like unkind people have kind of like swayed me the other way. We used to have a really good one here locally in Petaluma called Knitterly, and they just closed down right before the pandemic. But I must give like really honorable mention to Starlight in Portland.
Yeah.
Just the people that work there and their selection, and
that store's really
warm
cute
and inviting,
too.
And it's super cute, and they've always got something different going on. So I like that. And I'll give honorable mention to my local yarn shop, Castaway. But they don't always like carry what I'm looking for, but it's the most beautiful shop.
Yeah.
It's like a big like loft warehouse kind of vibe. Very trendy, but I don't know. Not carrying the yarns I really want to use.
Yeah. I feel that's important. Like I feel that way a lot about some of the shops I visited too. And I mean, I didn't mention a bunch of my local yarn stores, so obviously like I live close to Fiberspace. I love that shop. My only beef with them is like it's small, so selection's very limited. But everything they have is really good, so I'll take that. And Bliss Yarns in Nashville, which is where I learned how to knit, and I still have a lot of affinity and like very close connections to all the people, and one of my best friends is the owner, so I really like that shop too. But yeah.
And I've got to give another honorable mention to Imagine It in San Francisco, because they have everything you're ever going to need.
I've been there.
In this tiny little like thin, skinny, long, everything you need, and they've got it arranged lace weight at the front, bulky in the back, and it just And the first room is all natural fibers, and the other room is all synthetic fibers. Like it's organized. Love it.
I went in there probably. I was like maybe a year into knitting, maybe. I was like a baby knitter, and I went for work, and I was like, we have to go to, like, I'm dragging Mike all around San Francisco, of course. Crazy.
It's a madhouse.
And we went there, and I remember walking in there, and like I don't know if it's still like this, but they literally have shelves that are like floor, like an inch off the ground to ceiling filled.
You need a ladder to get to it.
It's like one of those like library. It's crazy. And so nice. Like, really, really.
Yes.
San Francisco.
Well arranged, clean, nice.
The Bay Area has a lot of really good yarn stores. California.
They really do.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you my question. Okay. And I know my answer, like, hands down, and you know my answer, hands down. But I don't know how you would answer.
Okay.
If you could only knit with one color family of yarn for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'm going to consult my wall.
Think on it. You know mine's green. But I have 3 ways you could go.
I'm trying to think of multiple factors. Oh, that's so hard.
I know, right? Green has so many different, like, families of green.
Yeah. I might say gray.
That's on my list for you.
But the other one that I was thinking of was orange, because I just really like orange. Anything like rust orange, like I would kind of treat that as one. That's what one I would that one, green, gray, and then blue, I guess. But it would probably be it would either be a neutral like gray or oatmeal or orange, probably, if I had to really pick. I just love orange. I think it's so pretty.
I do too. Orange is my number 2. Like green, all the greens, and then rusty orange. It's got to be like that.
I feel like people discount orange. Like they're like, oh, I can't wear it. No, you can.
Yes, you can.
You can wear it.
There's a million different tones of it.
Yep.
I'm wearing orange right now.
I'm not wearing any, but I have like a bunch of really beautiful orange skeins on my wall that I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. So,
fun.
I think we've talked about all we could talk about.
People are going to be like...
I mean, we could talk about a lot more. Oh, you people.
We're going to have to like do like a getaway or a giveaway at the end. Like, if you watch till the end, we're going to give you a secret code.
Use password.
Password kindness.
Oh, hashtag kindness. Yes. Anyway.
So good to catch up with you.
Thank you for joining me and me, you, and you, me, and all of that. And like, subscribe.
Please.
Let us know in the comments what you're knitting, what you're doing. If you're going to Rhinebeck, let us know. If you're knitting the mystery shawl, let us know.
Yeah.
I want to know what colors you're using and if you're loving it. And maybe we will do a giveaway at some point.
Yeah, we should. And like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, share us with your friends if you can. And if you see us out and about, like if you see me at Rhinebeck, come say hi. I'm a hugger, I'll
FaceTime me.
Yeah.
Drew will FaceTime me. We'll all say hello.
Like we said, we'll be out and about in Portland next year, so maybe we'll do something special
February.
when we're there. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, it was great to see you.
Bye, everybody.
Miss you.